Have you ever woken up in the morning, looked down there, and quietly asked yourself, what's happening to me? No more, good morning, like before, no more quiet confidence when you're close to your partner, no more waking up feeling like the man you once knew yourself to be. I've listened to hundreds, maybe even thousands, of men over 60 whisper the same thing to me behind closed doors. Document. I feel like I'm slowly disappearing, in every way a man can. Did you know? Small blue diamond 71% of men over 60 experience pelvic blood flow problems, according to the American Urological Association, 2021. Small blue diamond and over 43% believe it's just part of aging. But the truth, in nearly 6 out of 10 cases I've treated, it wasn't age that was to blame. It was breakfast, that first bite of the day. You're not just feeding your stomach, you're programming your entire circulatory system, and the problem is, most older men are unknowingly programming their bodies for gradual decline. No one told you that breakfast can activate nitric oxide, a powerful molecule that sends blood flowing to the areas that matter. Or that just 2 minutes of preparation can start reversing years of quiet dysfunction. You don't need another pill, you don't need synthetic testosterone, you don't need more shame. What you need is a better understanding of your body, and a new beginning, starting first thing in the morning. Today, I'm going to share with you 5 specific morning foods I've recommended to my patients, foods that help them. Heavy checkmark restore lost sensation, heavy checkmark revive blood flow where it counts, heavy checkmark and feel like men again. What's actually happening to your body after 60? Let me be honest, no fluff, no sugarcoating. After 60, your sympathetic nervous system slows down, blood vessels become less responsive, your pelvic floor muscles weaken, less blood reaches the lower region, less physical feedback, testosterone drops by 1% each year after the age of 40, Mayo Clinic, 2020. And most importantly, every morning when you wake up, your pelvic blood vessels are waiting to be switched on. But if you skip breakfast, drink only black coffee, or grab a slice of white toast, you've just flipped the wrong switch. I remember Frank, 68, a retired veteran. He sat across from me, quiet, looking down. Document. I've never told anyone this, but every time I try to be close to my wife, it's like I'm not even there anymore. No pain, no injury, just a dull, hollow absence. We ran every test, no heart disease, no advanced diabetes, no serious nerve damage, but his breakfast, just black coffee, dry toast. Nothing else. Every morning, your body goes through a golden window, the first 60 minutes after waking. In that window, nitric oxide levels are low, blood sugar can spike quickly, blood vessels aren't fully responsive, but if you give your body the right foods during that window, you can literally turn back on circulation to your lower body. Bulbospongiosis and ischiocavernosus, the muscles that support erections and sensation. Penile artery, a small, fragile vessel that easily hardens with age. Inferior pelvic nerves, highly sensitive to nutrient deficiency and oxidative stress. These are areas you can't see in a mirror, but they shape everything you feel. So the question is, how do you wake up parts of your body that have fallen asleep? The answer, maybe sitting quietly in your kitchen, waiting to be used the right way. Movie camera. In the next section, I'll reveal the 5 morning foods that can help you do just that. They're not expensive superfoods. They're not trendy health fads. They're everyday items, familiar, humble, and powerful, and when eaten the right way, they can help you feel alive again, in your body, and in your spirit. Whole EGGS, the key to restoring your pelvic strength. Dear friend, if you opened your fridge this morning and spotted a carton of eggs sitting quietly in the back, don't overlook them, because they might just be the key to reviving a system in your body that's been quietly growing weaker, and you didn't even know it. I'm talking about the pelvic floor, the group of deep muscles that support your strength, your confidence, and yes, even your manhood. 9 months ago, I met Daniel, 66 years old, well-mannered, soft-spoken, kind eyes. But barely able to look me in the eye, during his general checkup, I asked him a simple question: "What do you usually have for breakfast?" He chuckled awkwardly: "Same as most guys, I guess. Black coffee, maybe some white toast if I remember. I'm not usually hungry in the morning." I nodded, then asked, gently, "And, how's the sensation down there been lately?" There was a long pause, then he let out a breath: "Doctor, I honestly don't remember the last time I felt a morning response. I think it's been years." His lab work? Normal, blood pressure stable, no signs of major disease or nerve damage, but what was happening? Daniel was starving his lower body every morning, without even realizing it. Why eggs are so powerful? For decades, we were told to fear eggs: cholesterol, saturated fat, heart risk. But science has changed, and now, we know better. Whole eggs, especially the yolks, are packed with choline, a critical nutrient that helps your body create acetylcholine, the neurotransmitter responsible for triggering muscle contractions, including the pelvic floor; vitamin D, essential for producing natural testosterone, which boosts circulation and nerve response in the lower body; leucine, a powerful amino acid that triggers muscle repair, including two key muscles, bulbospongiosis and ischiocavernosus, the ones responsible for erection and sensation. Vitamin B12, critical for nerve signaling and pelvic blood flow regulation. Journal of Nutrition, 2020. Eating 2 whole eggs per day did not increase cardiovascular risk in older adults, and even improved endothelial function within 6 weeks. DeMarco et al., 2020, American Journal of Clinical Nutrition, 2017. Leucine was found to trigger faster pelvic muscle synthesis than any other amino acid source. Kim et al., 2017, The Aging Male Journal, 2016, higher choline intake was linked to improved pelvic blood flow and sexual reflexes in men over 60. Smith et al., 2016, I don't recommend eating 5 eggs a day, if you have advanced liver disease, severe cholesterol imbalances, or are on high-dose statins. Talk to your doctor first, but if you're in relatively good health, 1 or 2 whole eggs each morning could be a gentle but powerful way to begin your recovery. You eat 2 boiled eggs every morning. The yolk supply choline. Acetylcholine production increases nerve signal strengthen. Leucine stimulates muscle repair in the pelvic floor. Vitamin D nudges testosterone back into action. Blood flow improves. Within just 4 to 6 weeks, your body doesn't just feel different, it functions differently. How to eat eggs properly after 60. Eat within 30 minutes of waking up. Avoid eating them on an empty stomach after coffee, it can blunt absorption. Best cooking methods: boiled, lightly pan-seared without oil, or soft-steamed. Pair with a slice of whole grain toast or a handful of greens. No fancy recipes, no gourmet chef needed, just a simple choice to start your day with something your body actually needs. With Daniel, I made one change: no more white toast, just 2 boiled eggs every morning, no medication, no complicated routine, no gym sessions. Backhand index pointing right. By week 3, he came back with a different look in his eyes, brighter, more alive. "Doc," he said, "I woke up this morning and I felt like I was still here." We didn't need to say more, he knew, and so did I. A man's recovery doesn't begin with pills, it begins with understanding his body, and choosing to care for it again. In the next part, I'll share a food you might think is plain or boring: oats with chia seeds, but when eaten the right way, they become one of the most powerful combinations for cleaning out arteries and restoring flow to the areas time has quietly taken from you. Are you ready? Oatmeal chia, the underrated duo that unblocks your pelvic arteries. We've already talked about eggs, and the power packed inside the yolk to awaken the deep pelvic muscles. But if you were to ask me, "Doctor, is there anything I can eat that helps my blood flow down there without medication?" I would answer without hesitation: oatmeal and chia seeds. Robert, 71, a retired railroad worker from Pennsylvania, was a quiet man, that is, until the day he broke down crying in my office. I've lost all sensation when I go to the bathroom. Nothing. I feel nothing in bed. I feel nothing when I stand up. Now Robert didn't have nerve damage, he wasn't diabetic, his spine was healthy. He just wasn't getting blood where it needed to go. His lipid panel told the story: high triglycerides, low HDL, chronic inflammation in the microvessels, and his breakfast: I don't eat much. Just coffee. And maybe a donut if it's around. So I gave him a simple 30-day prescription: each morning, eat a warm bowl of oatmeal with 1 spoonful of chia seeds on top. No sugar. No cream. Just oats, chia, and a sprinkle of cinnamon. Oatmeal is one of the few foods that contains beta-glucan, a soluble fiber that binds and removes LDL cholesterol from your bloodstream, reduces inflammation in blood vessels, especially the tiny ones in the pelvis, increases elasticity in vessel walls, helping blood flow to the lower regions. Journal of Nutrition, 2021. Beta-glucan from oats reduced LDL by up to 10% in 4 weeks, and improved microvascular circulation. Whitehead et al., 2021. British Journal of Nutrition, 2015. Oat-based diets improved peripheral blood flow and endothelial function, key for sensation and erectile response. Peterson et al., 2015. Chia seeds, the vein guardians. If oats clean out your vessels, chia seeds stand guard to keep them open. They're loaded with omega-3 ALA, softens vessel membranes and calms inflammation. Magnesium relaxes vessel walls and boosts blood flow. Potassium stabilizes blood pressure, critical for morning circulation. The American Journal of Clinical Nutrition, 2016. 30 g of chia seeds daily lowered diastolic blood pressure in seniors after 6 weeks. Vuxen et al., 2016. Nutrients Journal, 2019. Omega-3s from chia increased pelvic sensitivity via nitric oxide response. Martinelli et al., 2019. By week 2, Robert called me. Document. I didn't believe in oatmeal. But yesterday I climbed 2 flights of stairs without feeling heavy, and this morning, I felt something when I went to the bathroom. First time in ages. His voice cracked, and I smiled, because I knew. Oatmeal and chia are not just foods, they are signals, telling your body that you haven't given up, telling your circulation to wake up. In the next part, I'll reveal a sweet, juicy fruit, one you've probably only seen as a summer dessert. But inside, it holds the exact same biological trigger as some synthetic performance enhancers. The only difference: it comes from nature. Can you guess what it is? Here's what happens when you eat this combo. Beta-glucan clears out small pelvic vessels, soluble fiber reduces microinflammation, magnesium relaxes artery walls, blood flows freely, omega-3s reawaken nerves in the pelvic floor. The result: you feel alive again, in places you thought were long gone. How to eat it? For seniors over 60, half a cup rolled oats, cooked with 1 cup water or nut milk. Add 1 teaspoon chia seeds, a dash of cinnamon, 3 to 5 blueberries, optional, crossmark no sugar. No honey. No syrup. Backhand index pointing right. Eat before 8 a.m. when your body is most receptive to anti-inflammatory foods. Watermelon, the heart of summer that revives the parts we forgot. I have a rule in my practice: if a patient still laughs when I tell them to eat watermelon in the morning, it means they don't fully understand the power of food yet. Bill, 69, a warm and funny man who adored his wife, sat across from me a few months ago with a heaviness he could no longer hide. I still love her, document, but my body no longer knows how to show it. There was no sensation. No response. No confidence. He had tried supplements. Prescription pills, they worked, technically. But the feeling was gone. I didn't prescribe another drug. Instead, I gave him something that sounded like a joke: start your mornings with watermelon. 4 slices. Eat the white part too. He laughed out loud. What am I, 5 years old again, doc? But he did it anyway. Watermelon is one of the richest natural sources of L-citrulline, an amino acid few people talk about, but it has a powerful effect on blood flow. L-citrulline is converted by the liver into L-arginine, which then triggers nitric oxide, NO, production, and nitric oxide relaxes pelvic arteries, increasing blood flow, enhances sensitivity to stimulation, restoring morning responses, slightly lowers blood pressure, allowing blood to flow downward instead of pooling. Above, Urology Journal, 2011, 1.5 g of L-citrulline daily improved erection hardness and duration in men over 60 within 4 weeks. Cormio et al., 2011, Journal of Andrology, 2014, nitric oxide is the essential initiator of natural arousal. Without it, even medications don't work. Bivalacqua et al., 2014, Nutrients, 2019, the white rind of watermelon contains the highest concentration of L-citrulline, yet it's the part most people throw away. Tarazona Diaz et al., 2019, the red flesh of watermelon is rich in lycopene, which protects the prostate, but the white rind, the often discarded part, holds 60% of the fruit's total L-citrulline. Eating it raw or blending it into a smoothie is a natural way to replenish nitric oxide every morning. No pills required. After a full night's sleep, the tiny pelvic vessels constrict from cold and low oxygen. Morning is when those vessels want to open, but only if nitric oxide is present. Watermelon helps dilate blood vessels, blood flows downward, oxygenate deep tissue, sensation returns, reactivate pelvic nerves, and morning happiness reappears. How to eat watermelon properly. 4. 60. Eat on an empty stomach, 15 to 30 minutes before your first meal, 3 to 4 thin slices, including the white rind, optional, blend with a few mint leaves, no added sugar, cross-mark. Avoid combining with milk or heavy proteins immediately afterward. Document. I don't know if it was the watermelon, or just believing in something again, but this morning, I felt something, a feeling I thought I'd never feel again. We didn't laugh, we sat quietly for a moment, because what returned wasn't just physical sensation, it was the feeling of being himself again. You know, after 30 years of practicing medicine, I've realized, men don't fear getting old, they fear losing the feeling of being a man, and if one watermelon each morning can help reignite that spark, then maybe. No food deserves more honor at the start of your day. In the next part, I'll share a warm, gentle food you can steam every morning. It's calming, nourishing, and surprisingly powerful in maintaining pelvic energy and steady blood pressure all day long. And no, it's nothing fancy at all. Steamed sweet potato Celtic salt, a gentle breakfast to stabilize pelvic circulation all day long. There's a food that, whenever I mention it, some of my older patients raise an eyebrow. Sweet potatoes, doc, are you serious? That sounds poor and plain. But when they try it, with patience, simplicity, and sincerity, they begin to realize something. Sometimes, what your body needs most is not flashy at all. Thomas, 70, was a former gym teacher, but after retirement, his body stopped moving with him. He came to see me with this: heavy legs every morning, numbness in the thighs and lower pelvis, no energy, no restful sleep. I asked what he had for breakfast. Nothing. Document. Coffee's enough for me. I didn't give him pills, just a simple note: steamed sweet potato Celtic salt, every morning. Before 8 a.m. When you wake up, circulation in the pelvic area and legs is empty. No glucose, no minerals, no energy for your muscles or nerves to fire. Sweet potatoes are a slow, deep recovery food, not a burst, but a steady rebuild. Potato benefits of sweet potatoes: complex carbs slow release energy to support pelvic and thigh muscles. Vitamin B6 supports dopamine production, lifts mood and gentle motivation. Anti-inflammatory anthocyanins and polyphenol reduce capillary inflammation in the pelvis. Potassium manganese regulate electrolytes, improve nerve signaling in lower pelvic nerves. Why Celtic salt, not regular table salt, not refined, bleached salt with minerals stripped away? Celtic salt is unrefined sea salt, rich in over 80 trace minerals including magnesium, relaxes blood vessels, reduces pelvic tension, zinc supports natural testosterone production at a healthy, balanced level, natural sodium maintains soft morning blood pressure without increasing upper body pressure. Journal of Medicinal Food, 2013, daily steamed sweet potato reduced vascular inflammation and improved peripheral blood flow after 21 days, Lee et al., 2013. Clinical Nutrition Research, 2016, natural minerals from Celtic salt helped regulate early morning blood pressure without causing water retention, especially in adults over 60, Park et al., 2016, The Gerontologist, 2020, seniors who ate slow carbs and mineral-rich foods for breakfast had stronger pelvic nerve function and 32% fewer falls, Andrews et al., 2020, The Inner Stabilization Mechanism, sweet potato provides slow glycogen nourishes pelvic muscles gradually, Celtic salt delivers ionic minerals, supports nerve reflexes in the lower pelvis, warm temperature hydration soothes lower abdominal tension, eases vascular constriction. Most patients feel the difference between day 2 and day 5. Less trembling, easier to stand, and that vague, numb and distant region begins to feel alive again. How to eat it properly for older adults: 1 small to medium sweet potato, about 150 g, steam until soft, eat warm, sprinkle 1/4 teaspoon of Celtic sea salt on top, drink a warm glass of water alongside, with a few drops of lemon if desired. Alarm clock best time, within 30 minutes of waking up, while your circulatory and nervous systems are still open and ready to absorb energy. Thomas 3-day check-in. He came back smiling, "Doc, I don't have to hold the nightstand to stand up anymore, and this morning something strange happened. I could actually feel the space between my thighs again. Gently. Like it woke up. No pills. No procedures, just 1 steamed root and a pinch of sea salt, a quiet kindness toward his own body, a warm, healing breakfast that reawakens something he thought age had taken away forever." In the next part, I'll share a food that's often called the red heart of male circulation. It's a deep purple root with a sweet note, but its natural vasodilating power rivals that of prescription drugs. Can you guess what it is? Beets, nature's Viagra from Mother Earth. My dear friend, after more than 30 years in clinical practice, here's one truth I've come to believe deeply: nature never creates halfway miracles. When it gives us a root vegetable with a deep crimson hue, red as blood, it's sending us a message: this one is for your blood vessels. Walter, 72, lives on a small farm in rural Oregon, once strong, once energetic. But with age came the quiet battles he rarely spoke of. Document. I still love my wife, but for some reason, the feeling is there, but the response is not. It's like the wires just don't connect anymore. Walter didn't like pills, he preferred soil, seeds, and water. I asked him, "Do you grow beets?" He nodded, "Sure do. I use them for soup. Never thought they'd help with that." I told him gently, "Boil 1 beet each morning, eat it on an empty stomach, and don't throw away the water." Why are beets so powerful? Beets contain an unusually high concentration of natural nitrates, which convert inside your body into nitric oxide, NO, the key compound that relaxes and opens up your blood vessels, especially the tiny ones in the pelvis, lower limbs, and yes, the male reproductive organs. Red heart. What does nitric oxide actually do? Opens up blood vessels, increases flow to sensitive areas, lowers vascular pressure, gently reduces morning blood pressure. Enhances pelvic nerve response, brings back emotional and sensory feedback. Hypertension Journal, 2010, drinking beet juice each morning lowered systolic blood pressure by 10 mm of mercury within 6 hours, thanks to boosted nitric oxide levels. Kapil et al., 2010, Journal of Sexual Medicine, 2015. Nitric oxide is the single most crucial factor in natural erectile function, and beets are among the most effective natural nitrate sources. Stanaway et al., 2015, Nutrients, 2021, Seniors Who drank beet juice daily improved peripheral blood circulation significantly within 2 weeks. Clifford et al., 2021. Here's what happens in your body. Natural nitrates from beets convert to nitric oxide in the mouth and gut. Nitric oxide opens vessels in the pelvis, thighs, and lower organs. Increased blood flow enhances sensation and responsiveness. Effects last 6 to 8 hours, making mornings the ideal time to eat. How to use beets after 60. 1 small to medium beet, 100, 150 g, rinse well. Boil gently for 10 to 12 minutes, leave the skin on, drink the warm beet water in the morning, chop and mix the beet with olive oil and lemon, or add to salad. Alarm clock best time, 30 minutes before breakfast, on an empty stomach, when nitrate absorption is at its peak. Walter returned, quiet but glowing with something new in his eyes. I don't know if it was the beets, or maybe just believing again, but last night, when my wife held my hand, I felt it, like a soft current running from my chest, down to a place I thought was gone. We didn't say much after that. Sometimes healing doesn't come in words, it comes from the ground, from a humble root, and a man who dared to believe he still could. Important notes: beets can lower blood pressure slightly. Avoid combining with morning blood pressure meds. Those with kidney stones or advanced kidney disease should use sparingly, 2 to 3 times a week. Urine or stool may appear red after eating. This is completely normal. In the next part, I won't be talking about food. I'll reveal a hidden mistake that over 70% of older adults make every morning, a mistake that quietly undoes the benefits of all the healing foods we've talked about. Don't miss it, because this one decision may change the outcome of your entire journey. The hidden morning mistakes that silently cancel your blood flow progress. So far, I've shared with you 5 foods that could transform the health of your pelvic circulation, your energy, your sense of vitality, and even your capacity for love. But today, I want to tell you something that almost no one talks about. Not every good food will help you, if your mornings are quietly sabotaging your body's ability to heal. These are small morning mistakes. They don't make noise, they don't hurt right away, but they slowly undo all your efforts, like silent hands turning off the switches you've worked so hard to turn on. Skipping breakfast, putting your body in silent shutdown. More than 60% of my older male patients tell me they skip breakfast, just black coffee, or a cigarette, or simply, "I'm not hungry," document. But the truth is, your body doesn't wait to be hungry, it needs to be activated. Skipping breakfast narrows the blood vessels in your pelvis due to low energy, deactivates your pelvic floor muscles, slows down your nerve reflexes below the waist. You think you're fasting, but in reality, you're just shutting the power off. Eating too late, when blood has already gone elsewhere. After 8 a.m., especially once coffee kicks in, your body's cortisol and adrenaline rise. That means, blood rushes to your brain, heart, and limbs, to prepare for the day's work. The pelvic area, no longer a priority. If you eat at 9:30 or 10 a.m., it's already too late. Even the best foods will have trouble reaching the sleeping blood vessels. Eat within 60 minutes of waking. That's your internal golden hour for organ circulation. Wrong combinations, canceling out blood flow benefits. I once had a patient say, "Doc, I've been eating watermelon every morning like you said, but nothing's happening." I asked, "What did you eat it with?" "Sweetened condensed milk, ham sandwich, and a tall glass of iced tea." There's your answer. Some combinations completely block your body's healing response. Beet soda kills nitric oxide production. Eggs too much butter/lard increases inflammation. Oats chia honey sweet fruit spikes blood sugar disrupts nerve response. The food isn't the problem. The way you eat it is. No warm water. Blood stays stuck. It sounds simple, but here's what science shows. A cup of warm water in the morning increases blood flow by 10 to 15% in tiny vessels. Journal of Vascular Medicine, 2017. Cold water instantly constricts blood vessels in the belly and pelvis, canceling the effect of beets, watermelon, or any food that relaxes your circulation. Backhand index pointing right. Drink 250 to 300 milliliters of warm water, around 104 to 122 degrees Fahrenheit, about 15 minutes before eating. No movement. Blood has no reason to flow down. You could eat the perfect foods, but if you sit still for the next 2 to 3 hours, your blood stays in your upper body. Just do something small. 10 minutes of gentle walking around the house, 5 minutes of light knee lifts by your bed, or stretch your arms under the morning sun for 15 minutes, that's all it takes to open the lower valve and send blood where it's most needed. What I've seen after hundreds of patients, people who eat right and drink right, but live off schedule 3 months, no change, people who eat a little, but consistently, at the right time. 2 weeks, and they already feel better circulation, deeper sleep, and renewed sensations. Healing doesn't come from superfoods. It comes from knowing when and how your body absorbs life again. A 75-year-old man once walked into my office carrying a small cloth bag. He smiled and said, "I brought some eggs, sweet potatoes, and beets, not for you to check, document, but to remind myself, I still choose how I start my mornings. I'm still in charge of the way I live today." We didn't speak much that day. We just sat together, drank warm water, and shared a simple steamed sweet potato, and honestly, it was the most beautiful morning I'd had all month. In the next part, I'll share the true story of a 7-day transformation, a man who thought he had lost everything, until blood began to flow back to a place he had long forgotten. If you've ever thought, maybe it's too late for me, then the next video is the gentle answer your heart's been waiting for. The 7-day journey, when blood returns and life awakens. My dear friend, let me tell you the story of Mr. James. He's 67 years old and lives up in Northern Carolina. He was once a strong mechanic, big hands, steady eyes. But the day he came to see me, he looked only at the floor and said softly, "Document. I don't feel like a man anymore." Day 1, anxious, uncomfortable, I gave him a very simple plan: 2 boiled eggs in the morning, half a steamed sweet potato with a sprinkle of Celtic salt, warm water before eating, no coffee, no rush, no phone. He frowned. I've never had breakfast like that before. But he agreed to try it, not for me, but because of the way his wife of 42 years still looked at him with hope. Day 2, empty, nothing yet. He called me, "Doc, I ate. I took a walk. But I don't feel any different." I chuckled and replied, "James, your pelvic circulation has been silent for nearly 7 years. It needs to be heard again, before it can respond." Healing takes time, and persistence is often the most powerful medicine. Day 3, a little warmth, a little lightness. He said, "This morning my legs felt lighter, not heavy like they usually do." That might not mean much to most people, but for a man who's gotten used to feeling stuck, that small lightness was the first knock on the door of life. Day 4, watermelon, a strange little tingle. He ate a few slices of watermelon at 6:30 a.m. The first time in many years. That afternoon, he called me again, voice low. I felt something move down there. It wasn't clear, but it wasn't the usual nothing either. I paused for a moment, then smiled. "Blood's coming back, James." Day 5, no big dreams, just a small one. I slept better, woke up without back pain, and when my wife held my hand, I felt her warmth. It's been a long time since that happened. He didn't talk about the bigger things, but I knew. When sensation returns to the hand, the whole system is beginning to switch back on. Day 6, feeling a place he thought was lost. That morning, he had oatmeal with chia, took a gentle walk, and meditated for 10 minutes. By noon, He sent me just one message: I just went to the bathroom, and I could feel the stream. I never thought I'd be grateful for something like that. The feeling of being alive doesn't come from grand things, it comes from moments when we are grateful to simply feel our body again. Day 7, not an erection, but a recognition of life. That Sunday morning, James called me with a different tone: document. I woke up today with a strange feeling, nothing dramatic, but I felt like I was still me. He didn't need to say more, and I didn't need to ask. Because I knew exactly what that feeling was. It was blood coming back, and the soul. Following close behind. My friend, you may have lost your hair, you may have lost your muscle, you may have lost your sharpness, but you have not lost your ability to heal. Your body still remembers how blood used to flow, how your skin used to respond, how your partner's eyes once made your heart beat faster. All you need is to give your body a reason to begin again. In the final part, I'll share the deepest lessons I've learned after more than 30 years of walking with thousands of men over 60, lessons about faith, about love, and about how to keep your blood flowing, not just in your vessels, but in your heart. You won't want to miss it. If you've made it this far with me, then I know one thing for sure: you haven't given up. Even if your body once let you down, even if sensation once vanished, you're still here, searching for something, and that something isn't youth, it's not perfection, it's the return of you, to your body, to your emotions, to the quiet rhythms you thought were lost forever. The body doesn't age unless we abandon it. I've seen it all: men in their 60s suffering ruptured vessels from stress and neglect, and I've seen an 83-year-old regain natural erections, just by eating eggs, drinking beet juice, and walking every morning. There's no miracle here, only listening, and beginning again. Your body doesn't hate you, it's just waiting for you to start talking to it again each morning. The 5-food journey, 5 steps to coming back to life: whole eggs, awaken the pelvic floor that's been asleep; oatmeal, chia seeds, cleanse forgotten arteries; watermelon, unlock nitric oxide that's been shut off for years; steamed sweet potato, Celtic salt, restore inner strength from deep within; beets, offer a natural yes to blood flow where it matters most. You already have the tools, but tools only work if you use them every day, without skipping, without doubting. You're not weaker because you're older, you're weaker because you stopped believing you could be strong again. As for me, after thousands of patients and hundreds of whispered conversations behind closed doors, I still believe this: when a man learns how to care for his breakfast again, he's rewriting the definition of aging, through his own blood. You don't need a clinic, you don't need a prescription, you don't need anyone's permission, you just need 1 boiled egg, 1 steamed sweet potato, 1 slice of watermelon, and 1 quiet promise to your body: tomorrow I will begin caring for myself again. If this video touched something in you, if you saw yourself in these stories, if you're ready to begin with a simple, loving breakfast, backhand index pointing right, leave a comment that says, "I'm still here." No need to say more, those 4 words are enough, because those words mean 4 vessels have come back to life. They mean 1 person is rewriting the final chapter of their story, with the quiet pulse of life still glowing inside. And if you believe another man needs to hear this, please share the video. You're not just helping someone eat better, you're helping them believe again. Thank you for walking this journey with me. We'll meet again, in another video, another morning, another heartbeat, but always with the same message: the blood keeps flowing, if you keep believing.